Ready.
Turn home.
Woohoo! Woo! Yeah, where are your clothes?
I had to take them off because they were wet.
Okay. I really like this seat.
I like this seat.
Do you like this seat too?
No.
That's good. This is the C10 seat. Ugh, gross. It has been worn out. Yeah. Also, my tripod is not here, so I'm having to make do with what I have. But what we're going to do first is get all this ratty old vinyl out of the way and cut some clean lines that will hide a little bit better underneath our seat cover. Alright, so this is seat repair foam. If you type in seat repair foam on eBay, this is what you get. I got 1 inch thick. I'm thinking I should have gotten something thicker than that, but we're gonna try it. Basically, we're gonna just cut out a bunch of squares, glue them all together, and fill our seat back in.
Look!
What are you doing? How'd you get up there?
The tire made me get up here magic.
In that fender right there?
Yeah. It was magic. I'm going to put the back button so I can watch you do that. Oh, you're going to do in a second. Can I show them that is my bike?
Sure.
Okay. So look at my tab. It's red. Marshall. Look at that little doggy running. Say cheese. Cheese. Okay, I want to do myself. Can you see myself on the screen? Did you just see a picture of me come up?
All right, so our foam is in. Feels really good. Basically, I just kind of haphazardly stacked it on top of itself, glued everything down, and now we are going to shape it. Now, a lot of people online use like turkey carving knives, like the electric ones, to shape it. Those are kind of expensive. I used to have one, but I don't know where it's at. So what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna try using a flat disc on a grinding wheel, just a sanding disc, to shape it and see if that works. If that doesn't work, I've got a Sawzall that I think will probably do it. I don't know. We're just going to kind of experiment and see what works. But we got to get this mess to match the yellow stuff. So, wish me luck. And there we go. It looks super rough. Normally, at this point, I think, I've never done this before, but normally I think you'd use some scrim foam. Well, normally I think you'd shape it better than this, but, you know, first time. But then I think you'd use some scrim foam, which is real thin foam, over the top of this, just to kind of smooth everything out. I didn't want to do that because it was another like 20 bucks, so I'm going to try something a little bit cheaper, a little bit more redneck, but I think it's going to work just fine. duct tape, black duct tape to be exact. That's what I'm going to use to smooth all of this stuff out. I think it's going to work. I've seen somebody do this before with seats. Alright, so my goal is to smooth everything out with the tape. I'm going to use probably this whole roll. Let's hope it works. It works, man.
I can't see.
It's pretty great, actually.
I can't see you.
Huh? Yeah, good job. Okay, we're having some trouble with some of this tape sticking. So I've got some, what is this stuff called? Mineral spirits. Can you say mineral spirits?
Mineral spirits.
Yep, don't shake the camera. And I'm going to use that to clean all this stuff off and make sure the tape sticks. Having trouble with words today, dude. Pretty well. Now, I did use $20 in duct tape, so it cost as much as the scrim foam would have cost me, but it needs to nap. Is it bouncy? You like it?
Yeah.
So, it was a lot of duct tape that we used. The good thing about the duct tape, which I did not really think about, but it worked really well, is that I did a really... Yeah, it is so bouncy. I did a really rough job of shaping this foam just because, I guess because I've never done it before. I don't know if I was even doing it right. So it was super rough. And so the duct tape kind of allowed me to push foam down and hold it in place and make a shape that's pretty flat. It's a little bit lumpy, but way better than it was pre-duct tape. And it gives a lot of structure and rigidity to the seat. So that's pretty cool. We got to go get the other part of this to make the seat look better.
Where is it?
In the truck.
Okay. Okay.
So I got a seat cover off of eBay, just a universal seat cover, and I've never used this brand before. Ah! Alright, come on. It's okay. Come on. I've never used this brand before, so I don't know what to expect. Now, I am realizing that it looks like a one-piece thing. I was really hoping it would be two. I did a universal seat cover on my brother's 4Runner that we did just a few months ago. And it worked really well, but it was a two-piece. And I used some zip ties to kind of cinch everything down. We're going to use the same process here and hopefully get this thing to fit really well. That's how it works. This thing came with headrest holes. We don't have headrests in our seat, so I'm going to sew them up. Originally I was going to close them up with some zip ties, but I think this is going to look so much better. I don't really know how to sew, but it can't be that hard. That came out great. I've never actually repaired a seat, but when I was driving this truck, I mean, if you sat right here, you were on the metal. So all of this is new. We put all this foam in here, and right, like kind of where the butt is, it's all new. So it feels really good. I mean, it feels like it's solid. So that's cool. Now with these seat covers, they spend a lot of time folded up in a box, so they get real wrinkly. Normally, if you've got them real tight like this, over time they'll kind of flatten out and look a little bit better, but I'm happy with how it looks now, honestly. That's amazing. It's a $40 seat cover, $20 with the foam, $20 with the duct tape. This is gonna look brand new in the truck. I mean, it really is gonna look great. I went ahead and hit this with some black spray paint. Anywhere where there was like kind of red showing, put some spray paint on it. Oh, it'll still fold. Sweet. So it still folds forward. Because of that, we're gonna hit the back with some black spray paint too. This is flat black vinyl and fabric spray paint. One of my favorite things in the world when working on interiors. What we're gonna do is hit this back with it really quickly. I'm not gonna go real crazy on this. I just want it to look a little bit better when you fold the seat up. I don't mind it looking like it's a seat cover, obviously, but this will help a little bit. Just gonna be loud. Bear with me. One of the best things you can do for your interior, if you've got an old interior, you're trying to refinish it on a budget, is paint. Spray paint to be exact. I've got two kinds that I use. One of them is Krylon Fusion. The other is a vinyl and plastic paint, or vinyl and carpet paint. You use Fusion for the plastic stuff, and the carpet and vinyl stuff for this squishy kind of vinyl material. The plastic paint will not dry on this vinyl material, so you have to use that special paint. I'll leave links to both of those below. This does make a massive difference in the way the car looks. This interior is tired and faded and old, so I'm gonna hit it with some 220 on a DA sander or orbital sander, and just get everything kind of keyed up, and then we'll spray it with this Fusion paint. Before we get to that though, I have a car here that was done with this method in 2016, so 4 years ago, and I want to show you how it's holding up. This is a 92 Mustang. It had a gray interior when we got it. Now, the seats we tried painting, I don't recommend doing that. It's not good. But everything else worked out really, really great. You can see it still looks black. I mean, everything was gray in here and it was nasty and old. The only places that have had issues is where your hands go a lot. All that oil takes a toll on the paint, but that is like a 10-minute job to fix. So this stuff really does hold up. If you're interested in this process and you want to learn more about it, I did a video a few years back called $6 Dash Restoration. I'll throw a little ribbon up here. If you want to see more, I'll go through it a lot more in detail. It's really simple though. So last episode, we could not get this thing running. We figured out our timing was out. Neither Chase or I are very familiar at all with engines with carburetors, so I brought someone who lived in the time of the carburetor. We're gonna try to figure this thing out.
It's gonna crank.
Ready.
Iron hole.
Whoa! Woo!
Hey, went through it the right way.
That was out there?
Yeah.
Holy cow. What'd you say about the gunfire? Jeez. So we didn't quite have top dead center the first time. That's what all the backfiring and stuff was about. We redid the whole thing, pulled the valve cover off, checked it all. I think we've got it set now. Let's hope it actually fires this time.
Fire. Got all that easy. It'll run, baby.
That easy.
Yeah, we might be off a little bit because it's not gonna idle.
Alright, take it back. Alright. But tighten up that trigger up.
That's good right there. You're idle.
This is great. Now you'll see we're missing a few things. Some window cranks. I've got some somewhere. I've just got to find them, and I bet they fit this. And an armrest, which for this is kind of an issue because that's where you're supposed to grab to pull the door shut. We've got one for that side. We painted it black. This side I'm going to have to source or make something. For now, I'll just... Oh, we got to fix that. But the good news is the door doesn't rattle anymore. It's sealed up shut. And so is that one. And man, this feels like an entirely new truck. Now, I take interiors for granted. On my MR2, the interior on my MR2 is actually really rough. I mean really rough. Compared to the rest of the car, it's rough. And I've been meaning to do it, and I just keep putting it off. But man, this makes such a huge difference. It smells better in here. There's no trash in the floor. The seats feel good. I'm not sitting on a piece of metal, which is awesome. And just the all black cleans everything up so much. Now, you'll notice there's still some cracks in the dash. I just left those because, you know, it's this truck. But you can get dash covers that are like $150 or something like that. Pop it right on top, and you're good to go. For this budget kind of thing, it just doesn't matter to me that much. But this is awesome. I've got to pick up a few screws, button a few things up, and this interior will be done. I got to figure out how to make that stay up.
I'm gonna sit in with you.
All right, come on.
Hang out.
Do it to Daddy's camera.
Say thumbs up.
Thumbs up.